Hello and welcome. Okay, unusually for me, this is going to be a collective general reading. I ask that you use your discernment whilst watching this. Any messages that resonate, please take to the Holy Spirit. Please take to God. Sit with yourself. Sit with your higher self and make sure that you are getting confirmation from the Most High. Beloved Mother and Father, Holy Mother, Holy Father, Abba, Yeshua, my Prince of Peace, Holy Spirit, please place a ring of fire within and around me. I now invoke the violet flame angels, the golden flame angels, and the diamond flame angels, surrounding myself in the threefold flame. I now cast out and bind any lower energies, entities, or frequencies. Archangel Michael, please close down any portals or access points to any energies that are not operating in accordance with the law of God, with the law of one. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I now ask for a shield of protection to be placed within and around me, and I ask that I am now connected through the divine Logos straight to the throne room of my beloved Abba. Helios and Vesta, I now open up my connection to the great central sun, bringing down the golden healing energy of the Christ Sophia, bringing down the golden healing diamond codes infused into this reading. Okay, thank you, thank you, thank you. Right. The message I had was quite a strong one. I have had a song playing in my mind for the past couple of days, and it was from the movie Romeo and Juliet, which I've never actually seen the movie, and I had to Google the song. And it was called I Am Kissing You, and the line that they keep playing in my mind over and over and over again is the strong shall never fall. So the message that I had coming through has been playing on my mind for a couple of days. And as I said, to the general public, it will look like I have about 5 or 6 videos on my YouTube channel. And in truth, there are thousands, but they're all personal and private readings for my clients. So this is a message for the general public. Again, please sit with yourself and use your discernment for what is your story. I always say, chew the meat and spit out the bones. Using your discernment through prayer and connection to God, you will know what resonates. What is truth will be felt within your body. The rest of it, please leave for someone else. So the message I had was about the restoration of your name. It was a story of a rumor train that had started. And a lot of people then jumped on this rumor train. This is the visual they're showing me. There was a rumor that was started. A lot of people then jumped on the train. And the rumor very quickly turned very dark. And the train was then no longer the rumor train, but it was the hate train. So it was about people jumping on to a train to hate on one person who was innocent. The person hadn't done anything wrong. And you had this group of people that was growing daily. And I saw a visual of the train stopping at every station, and every time it stopped at a station and the conversation was brought back up, a new member joined the hate train. And this went on and on and on and on until it spiraled so much out of control that you actually had people paying practitioners to do black magic on someone that they didn't even know. Now, judgment and justice has been called by the courts of heaven, and the message was that it wasn't just the person who paid for the black magic to be done, that the ancestors, the ascended masters, and the divine angels were opening up the courts of heaven. They were opening up every single person's Akashic records, and they were tracing their way back through every conversation, and they were making sure that the judgment was brought all the way back to the originator of the rumor, not just the person who paid for the black magic. So the message is that you have to hold strong. and that you have to stand in your faith, and you have to continue to allow the divine to restore your name. Throughout the process, I was shown that you were obedient, that you refused to be pulled into someone else's war or someone else's game, and that you held strong in all that you are. And that has been witnessed, and it has been recognized. And because you have remained in the heart and you've stayed on the right side of the line, the judgment and justice is now being continued to be worked right back to the very person that started the rumor. No longer will the lies be allowed to continue. The truth, so the divine, as in the Most High God, has actually decided to take on the case, and all of the records have been open, and every single person who has had a role in trying to harm you, in trying to slander you, in trying to hurt you, in trying to do black magic on you, and has tried to intervene in your sacred union, every single person is now going to be held accountable in one way or another. So I am going to be working with 3 or 4 decks today. I am starting with my Light Seers Tarot. I am then going to jump into my original Golden Oracle Priestess deck, and then we are going to be going into the past life stuff and the Wisdom Pearls of Sophia. So the cards never lie, do they? There was great pain caused in this dynamic. A tremendous amount of pain. Pain that actually wounded the heart of God. That's what I'm being shown. Okay, so they're correcting me. It wasn't the heart of God. It was the heart of Yeshua. The heart of Yeshua was actually wounded throughout this experience. There we go. Oh my goodness me. Wow. Okay, so I'm going to clarify these cards one by one. But the story on the table in front of me is exactly the energy that I was picking up. Now, as I said, I don't do collective readings. I like to do personal readings. I have been a master healer, teacher, an oracle, a wisdom oracle. Even working with my students, when I'm working with them, I work one-to-one. I don't like to jump into collective energy because I like to be absolutely rock steady in the message that I'm bringing through for that individual person. But I am being obedient, and here I am. So we are beginning with an overall energy of the 4 of Swords. Now, as you can see, this woman has been wounded to the point where she is laying in the fetal position. Her heart is actually laid outside of her body, like her heart has been ripped from her. And this is after she has been under attack, and she's actually lying in a bird's nest. And to me, the bird's nest is almost like the divine has created this little sanctuary for, you know, a beloved child of God to rest and to be restored. And as I said, the title they showed me was "The Divine is Restoring Your Name," and restoration is coming. So we are beginning with the 5 of Wands. So the 5 of Wands, as you can see, it is about arguments, but the imagery in this card I think is very interesting, because you have, especially with these 3 people, because I've just noticed for the very first time, they're actually all in the same uniform. So they should be on the same team, but what they're actually doing is they are competing against each other. And they're trying to, as you can see, this person has been thrown off. And these guys are reaching for the fire, which is obviously the light. So this is competition. This is competition in between a team, in between people that should be working together, but they are not. Now, it's followed by the devil. So the devil energy. What is the devil energy? It's someone who is sought in devil energy. It can mean addiction. It can mean ugly ass energy. But considering the tale of what was shown to me, I'm going to say that it was actual darkness that was done to someone. Now, I'm actually going to clarify these 2 by 2. So they want me to dive into the clarification before we move on. So can you please clarify the 5 of Wands? So the 5 of Wands is clarified by the Sacred Chalice and the Eagle Summit. Now, the Sacred Chalice talks about a lineage, but the Sacred Chalice, the Holy Grail, is, for me, is the Divine Feminine. You know, the Magdalene's womb was the first Holy Grail. She was the chalice. So the Divine Feminine for me is the chalice. The chalice is the vessel. So if you are a sacred chalice, you are a sacred vessel. What does that mean? I consider myself to be a sacred vessel, as in when I step up to the healing table, or when I step up to a retreat or a course, or to do a baptism, or to do any of my duties, I know that I am just the vessel. It is the divine, it is the ascended masters, it is these beautiful higher beings that are in service to God that work through me. So in that instance, I see the person that this message is for is the Sacred Chalice. Now, and yes, it is absolutely a message about a divine feminine. It is not about a divine masculine either, though they both could be the Sacred Chalice, but I'm picking up a very strong female energy from here. So the Eagle Summit. The Eagle Summit is, the visual I had for this card was me climbing to the top of a mountain. And when I reached the top of the mountain, I was actually shown 2 different sides to one story, 2 different versions of how it could play out, like 2 different timelines. The mountain looked a lot like the Himalayas. It was snow-covered peaks. It felt extremely sacred. I know I had worked a very, very, very long time to get to the top of the mountain. When I got to the top of the mountain, on one side, I took out a blanket. I took off my rucksack, I took off my shoes, I ate some food, I drank some water, I replenished my body, I sat in the silence, and once I had kind of regained my breath and allowed myself to rest, I then start taking in the view that was spectacularly in front of me. These beautiful birds, these eagles start flying around, and I could hear their cries. And then I was given the gift to see myself through their eyes. And in that moment, the plan for how I moved down the mountain completely changed. In the other timeline, the other part of the screen, I just took a flag in the top and I continued straight down the mountain. So it's like I didn't practice the pause, so I missed the higher wisdom and I missed the higher guidance. So for me, what this is saying to me is, after a time of arguments, competition, strife, ugly ass energy, the Sacred Chalice needed to take the time at the top of the mountain to sit in solitude, to rest, to recover, to recuperate, to completely pull yourself into hermit mode, away from the outside world, until you were able to catch a breath, until you were able to transmute the energy, until you were able to sit with your higher self and receive the higher wisdom and the higher knowledge and the truth about what actually played out in this dynamic. Now, they want me to go in and get an Ascended Master card right away. So I am going to do that. Can you please clarify what higher knowledge came? Thank you. The Atlanteans, evolution, vibration, legacy, technology, progress, and expect acceleration. So if you are in this energy now where you have gone through this, they are encouraging you that whatever your mountain is, whatever you are overcoming right now, that when you actually reach the top, please take the time to pour into yourself. Please take the time to rest, to refuel, because there is higher wisdom, there's higher legacy knowledge that is going to come into you. And in that's going to give you this higher wisdom, and it will change your trajectory for your path forward. And this is going to bring you into great acceleration, great progress, and a great stride forward. Now, let's clarify the Devil card, shall we? Wow. So that did not take long. So the Devil and the threefold flame. Well, okay. We had a flipper. Yeah. And they want one more for here. Please clarify one more, please. There we go. Okay, so we're beginning with the Devil card, and the Devil card is clarified by the threefold flame. Now, what is the threefold flame? Everyone knows, well, most people know what the violet flame is. When you begin to start working as a healer, especially if it's anything to do with the ancient wisdom and the healing that came from the Lemurian, the Atlantean, and the Egyptian temples, you will know who Saint Germain and Lady Portia are. You will know who Archangel Zadkiel are. The violet flame is a beautiful gift that was given to humanity by Saint Germain, and he gave it to us. So every single person had the ability to do their forgiveness work, to transmute their karma, to clear away energy blockages, and to help them on their ascension journey. So that's the violet flame. Now, when you come onto the master level in my course, then you start working with Metatron and the divine logos and the cosmic mind. The violet flame then gets infused with the diamond flame frequencies, and you start working with the diamond flame angels. The same for the golden flame, that's Uriel. So it is a combination of the Trinity flame, the Christ flame, the freedom flame, the ascension flame. So you're actually working with them all together. Now, it's a very high vibrational, powerful energy when something needs to be transmuted. So when you work with these flames, the goal is to transmute everything from your heart, your body, your mind, your soul, your etheric vessels, your astral body, your elemental body, your desire body, your emotional body, your environment, the soul contracts, every aspect of your life. You can actually work with these flames to transmute anything negative into what I call the precious gold of the soul. So you're clearing away everything that no longer serves you, and you're holding on to the good. You're alchemizing anything that is not positive into something that is beautiful. Now, when you work with the violet flame, you will, of course, be working with the Ascended Masters, and here they are now as the keepers of the sacred flame. They are the 144,000 who are known as the high-level initiates, or the keepers of the flame. Now, when they step forward to champion you, and that is exactly what happens when you approach the altar of God with your petition, and you go, okay, I have this dynamic, this situation, and you come before the throne and you place your petition in the Holy of Holies, and you say, I would like to work with the violet flame and the masters for this problem, be it a relationship, be it forgiveness work, be it the clearing of karma, whatever you have, whatever your spirit has told you that you need to take accountability for, and you need to heal, you need to release, or you need to repair it, you go and you offer it on the Holy of Holies. And in that offering, the Ascended Masters choose you. They step forward to champion you. And what happens is, if they say to you, okay, we're going to help you, and for the next 22 days, we want you to do your violet flame decrees and do your prayer and do your meditation. And you are making a contract with them that if you show up for 22 days, they will show up too. And when they show up to work with you, what they do is they actually gift you a portion of their light and their power, and you work as a team for 22 days. And at the end of it, your petition is then freed. Whatever you place is then freed. Now, it's clarified by divine love. So the reason why this devil energy got involved was in order to upset something that was divine love. It is a divine union. The devil got involved, and now whatever unfolded here has to be transmuted in the threefold flames. Why? Because the Ascended Masters are there to help you transmute anything that happened. Why? Because divine love is always protected. Now, I'm going to get an Ascended Master card here before we move on. It is followed by, yeah, okay. Mary Magdalene, Sacred Vessel, you are the answer, be guided to your purpose. So Mary Magdalene is here to clarify that you are a sacred vessel. You are beloved of the Most High God, and this is why whatever darkness they tried to do against you, it didn't work. Why? Because you are the sacred vessel. You are the Ark of the Covenant covered in gold here on earth. You are the vessel that houses the light and the love of the divine. We have sacred chalice, and then we have sacred vessel. So we have two very strong energies of how you are seen by the Ascended Masters and by God. You are seen as a sacred chalice. Who is a sacred vessel? So you are the answer, be guided to your purpose. Now, I did notice that the next card after the Devil card is the Eight of Cups. Now, this is a walking away card. As you can see, there is a beautiful offering here that has the flames, the sacred flames within it, but it is floating in water, and the lady here is walking away. Now, for me, this is her all. This is everything she could have ever wanted and more. But because of the devil energy and because of what happened, she chose to walk away to protect herself. So I am now... Now, what they've just shown me, and I've never actually noticed, is there is a little fish here. And the fish represents the sign of Pisces. So there could be a Piscean energy that is included here. And what they've also showed me is there's a sun here. So you chose to follow the Christ light. You chose to follow the sun, even though this was something that you loved and wanted with all of your heart. Because of the devil energy that got involved, you were guided to walk away. Now, the first card out is the Guinevere Priestess. Now, can you please clarify this a little deeper? Yeah, that was what I thought. Wow. Okay. So, Guinevere is my mother archetype in this deck. So, Guinevere is obviously associated to King Arthur, but she wasn't actually King Arthur's true counterpart. King Arthur's beloved was actually the Lady of the Lake, and she had been the victim of spell work that was done to her, and these three dark magicians cast a spell on her and turned her into a mermaid, so she was actually unable to be in physical incarnation. It took her 500 years to make her ascension back up into her true form, and because of this she was gifted the title the Goddess of Light, and her name was Amarisa. Now, the Guinevere card comes up when you need to be reconnected back into the earth, and your relationship of that mothering safety needs to be restored. So, what does this say to me? It tells me that there is a female energy that was responsible for making you walk away from the thing that you wanted the most. Now, it could be a mother energy. but it's actually about the safety, first and foremost, being held in safety. So let's just say that we look at a child that doesn't feel protected, doesn't feel nurtured, doesn't feel loved, doesn't feel seen, doesn't feel safe. They will have a disconnection to the earth because their root chakra will be blocked. Because the root chakra that is open and flowing grounds you into the earth, and you feel very safe, very seen, very nurtured, very grounded. So it is about that disconnection from safety, putting you into fight or flight, putting you into being traumatized, putting you into a distrustful energy. Why? Because you've been wounded by people that should have given you a feeling of safety. Now, that is clarified by the siren song. So the siren song for me is the energy vampire. She is the one who sits on the rocks, and she uses everything she has at her disposal. She uses her good looks, her long hair, her sexuality. She uses her voice to lure people in. But what happens to the sailors? They either end up shipwrecked or they end up dead. It's never a good outcome for the man who is seduced by the siren. Now, for me, she is, in modern day terms, she is the one that has to be seen as the most beautiful, as the most successful, as the best in everything. It is very much coming back to this energy of, I have to be the best, I have to win, I have to be the greatest. Now, it couldn't be further away from what the true divine feminine is. The siren song is then clarified by sisterhood. So this tells me that the wounding happened through someone who should have been your sister. She should have had your back, but she was in a siren, dark feminine, succubus. I have to win, I have to be the greatest. And that's quite devil. It's quite devil energy. It's dark. So you walked away because of a Queen Guinevere siren archetype who should have been a sacred sister, but she really wasn't. So can we please clarify? Well, so we have 4 cards that have come out now. I'm going to show you them and then I'm going to put them back in. We have Michael and Faith, Spiritual Calling, Mahabharata Babaji, Spiritual Awakening, Buddha, Heightened Awareness, and Sanat Kumara, Open Channel. Now, this in and of itself also talks about what has actually happened to this female as she walked away. She followed her spiritual calling. She went on a spiritual awakening. She embodied the peace of the Buddha. And through this peace, she gained heightened awareness and she became an open channel. But let's put it back in now. And I would like 1 card, please. Can you please clarify the 8 of Cups and the siren song? Yeah, there we go. Okay, so Commander Ashtar, leadership activation, time to evolve, trust in your ability to guide others. Now, all the cards that came out were relevant. In this walking away, you found yourself in this walking away. You chose peace in the walking away. You grew in hermit mode. And this was actually part of your journey. The cracking open, the heartbreak, everything that you went through was actually preparing you to step into a leadership role to help you lead and activate other people. And it helped you trust in your ability to guide others. Now, after the 8 of Cups, we are moving over to the moon. So the moon represents hidden illusion. It's illusionary. A bit like all beauty, it looks beautiful. And quite often what is hidden, beneath the surface is very different. So let's clarify. Can you please show me what was hidden in this dynamic? Old Ocean Soul, Beyond the Pillars. Wow. Okay. So, We've got quite a few cards that have come out here to clarify this, but they said they want them. So what was hidden from you? The Old Ocean Soul. Now, this deck is obviously of my creation. You can buy it, by the way. The Old Ocean Soul talks about someone who is an Atlantean soul. What does that mean? It means that they have been on the planet since the days of Atlantis. So if you go all the way back, I mean, I think the work of Rudolf Steiner is probably the best work when it talks about the different root races of humanity. The first root race were the Lemurians, and then from Lemuria, the second root race were the Atlanteans. This is an Atlantean archetype, okay? So I have a lot of Atlantean energies in this deck. Now, the Old Ocean Soul, there's a beautiful quote that I think sums it up the best. It says, "I must be a mermaid because I have no fear of depths, but a great fear of shallow living." Old Ocean Souls need a different type of soul food. They need night skies, and they need poetry, and they need substance. They need depth. It has to be authentic. It has to be true. It has to be real. Why? Because they have been here for so many times that they have grown and evolved to a level in every area, be it their intelligence, be it their spirituality, be it their ascension, be it them and their evolution. They're often our masters, not just a jack of all trades, master of none. They are a master of all trades and a jack of none. They have tremendous abilities. Why? Because they have built their soul, their person, from year to year to year to year, from lifetime to lifetime to lifetime. So they are incredibly deep humans that feel everything very deeply, very profoundly, and they need a different quality of food. Now, the Old Ocean Soul is clarified by Beyond the Pillars. So Beyond the Pillars, again, it is an Atlantean archetype, and Beyond the Pillars is a play on the Pillars of Hercules. The Pillars of Hercules were the first things that you saw when you were entering into Atlantis. And when you went through, it was the first glimpse of the first circular harbour, of which there were 3. And the heart of Atlantis, the Temple of Poseidon, was at the heart there. So Beyond the Pillars, out here is your land of milk and honey. You're here right now. And the only thing that is stopping you moving through the pillars is your own self-doubt and your procrastination and your self-sabotage. So for me, there was something that was hidden from an old ocean soul. And what was hidden was actually their land of milk and honey. It was their everything. But it was hidden from them. Now, that's clarified again by the Eagle Summit, which is where we started over here. So I work with 2 of my decks together so I can get a really strong energy. And that is clarified by Sacred Heart Healing and by the Book of Life. So this tells me that there was something hidden from an old ocean soul. And in that deception caused doubt in this person, in you. So because you didn't have all of the information and certain things were hidden, something didn't quite feel right to you. So you start questioning yourself. And in the questioning, you didn't go through. You remained here. Something didn't feel correct to you, so you doubted yourself and you second-guessed yourself. And that doubt and that procrastination caused you to stay here instead of moving into your land of milk and honey. It was everything that you ever wanted. You know, there's a song, the line of the song they're playing in my head now is, "Love is pretty scary when it's true." As in the intensity of what you felt, the truth of the love that you felt, it scared you to the core. And then when something was hidden from you and something didn't feel right and your spidey senses were up, you then started to question, is this really how I feel? Could this possibly be true? Is this person being authentic with me? Is this person lying to me? Why is there illusion Why are things hidden from me? So after that, you needed to go to the top of your mountain. But then again, at the top of the mountain, which path did you take? Did you rest? Did you refuel? Did you practice the pause? Did you wait for the eagles to come and give you the higher wisdom and allow you to see the best path forward? Or did you get to the top of the mountain, stick a flag in the top to say, I was here, and run on down, thinking that you knew the best way forward, without resting, without acknowledging what you had just overcome? Did you give your heart time to heal? Because we have sacred heart healing. I always say to people that, you know, you can't walk out of a breakup or a disconnection from someone that you love more than anything in the world and just jump into a different relationship like it doesn't matter. If it doesn't matter to you, it means love wasn't present. If love was present, you actually need to take the time to heal. And you heal in solitude. Now, that is being clarified by the Book of Life, which tells me that there is a sacred contract here. Now, whether that contract is a contract to balance something out with someone, or a contract, because we have justice on the table here. Justice is being brought to a situation that is unfair. But either way, what has been hidden from the old ocean soul is going to be brought to conscious awareness. And when that is brought to your conscious awareness, you are guided to move beyond the pillars and go in and claim your victory. Claim your land of milk and honey. And when you do that and you climb to the top of the mountain, they are encouraging you to allow your heart to heal properly. To actually allow your heart to heal and release everything that you might have just stuck a pin in up until this moment. It's time to actually do the healing work. Why? Because you have a sacred book of life. And this is about something being restored or something being released. That's up to you. I know everyone's story will be different, but there is a sacred contract that is being honored by the courts of heaven in this now moment. And what I saw was that what unfolded, every single action, every step was being searched in the Akashic records so that this could be restored. And it's going to be a restoration of a name, which is what I heard. A restoration, and justice is being brought to a situation that was unfair, because what started out as competition was a siren energy that was sought in devil energy, that created a gossip train and a rumor train. And the more people that got on and the more destinations it went, I was showing a train going everywhere all over the world. The train got darker and darker and darker and darker until it was the hate train. It was no longer, you know, I don't think any gossip is silly gossip, but the train went from a rumor train to looking like a normal train to a demonic train that was full of darkness and full of evil intent. And it was the hate train. And every single person that was part of that hate train is now under judgment, and justice is being served by the courts of heaven. Can I please have an Ascended Master guidance? Right, so we have the Buddha, heightened awareness, make peace with your thoughts and the world. And we have Mahabharata Babaji on top. Spiritual awakening, interconnectedness, understand the inner workings. So what does the Buddha do? The Buddha goes within. It's that hermit mode. It's that climbing to the top of the mountain and being in that solitude and allowing the divine to bring you the higher wisdom. Through this higher wisdom, through the higher self, you get the true wisdom. And through that that's part of your spiritual awakening. It's part of you being interconnected and understanding the inner workings of everything. So everything that has been hidden in this moon energy is now going to be brought to the light. Why? Because no longer will people be able to function in the shadows. People are being held accountable for their actions and their thoughts, their words and their deeds moving forward. So we are now moving over to the justice energy. Now, the overall energy is Shiva, karma, karmic release, the end of a cycle, debts are paid, choose your destiny. So this is what has gone up to date. This is what is the message that came in now. So can we please clarify the justice, soul retrieval? So, justice about the soul retrieval. So this isn't about soul retrieval. This is about that whatever happened actually fragmented your soul. So, you know, it wasn't just about healing the heart. The experience wounded you at a soul level. And because you didn't deserve to be the victim of this gossip hate train, and judgment has been called through the courts of heaven with the karmic board and the 144,000. They are bringing you justice as you are retrieving your name. Your name is being restored, but you're also going to be retrieving your soul fragments at the same time. That is clarified by Atlantis Rising and the Sands of Time. So they say that when we truly enter into the golden age and big changes happen on the planet, that Atlantis is actually going to rise up back out of the ocean and she will be restored to her former glory. Now, Saint Germain is the hierarch of the next golden age. And I can tell you that the 144 and the land healers, the grid workers, the energy healers, the mystics, the initiates of the flame have been traveling to various sacred sites around the world, and they have been doing very beautiful, beautiful work in order to restore. I've just come back from Tulum, and before that I did a lot with some fellow healers, soul family in Ibiza over the summer. And as the grids were being spun and the light was being anchored into the ley lines, I was shown what was happening. And the grids being spun by the archangels and the ascended masters were spinning out all distortion. They were spinning out all black magic, all dark magic. They were spinning out everything that was unjust for the land, for the people, for the light workers. They were spinning it all out. And as the lies and the dark magic was being spun out, the tubes of light that were coming down from heaven and anchoring this golden energy into Gaia, into the planet for her ascension and for all of humanity. It was incredibly beautiful. So now is the time. This is the end point. I always say that Yeshua and the crucifixion, some people think that that was the end. For me, that was the beginning. We're all still here. We're all still on mission. And the Sands of Time is a message about you being brought back around with past life connections so that they can be restored. Past life contracts that need karma clearing are brought back around so they can be healed. Where there is unforgiveness, a new opportunity to choose forgiveness is always presented. In this now moment, we are in the golden age. Victory has happened up there. We're just waiting for it to come down through the ethers, regardless of what the world and the news might present to you. I promise you that God is winning, that the light is winning. People are waking up. People are choosing sovereignty. People are choosing to be free from the spell work, from the programs, from the matrix imprints that are here. Now, when the Sands of Time comes out, I pull from my Sands of Time past life deck. So justice is being served by something that happened in this lifetime, but by something that also happened in a past lifetime, because justice is being brought back around from a previous lifetime, and it is to do with the new age, the new golden age of Atlantis, and also it is to do with your Atlantean timeline as well. Can you please? And when we have Atlantis and a time and a soul retrieval, it also means that there are soul fragments to be retrieved from your Atlantean timeline. Can you please? Yeah, so we have the Templar card on the table. Wow, okay. So the overall energy is barren. So what is being restored from a past lifetime, and where is justice being served? We have the Knights Templar card, that is the first one down. Now, I've researched the Knights Templar for a very, very, very long time. And I know that, you know, they kind of what they turned into and where they started are very different, like a lot of institutions. But what I will say is the Knights Templar were started by the generations that were left from Sarah, the daughter of Yeshua and Magdalene. She married a man called Andrew, and because Sarah was the first Holy Grail that was born from the sacred chalice, that was the union of Yeshua and Mary Magdalene. Andrew became the first keeper of the Grail because he was her guardian. They married at Glastonbury Abbey, where the Michael and the Mary lines cross, and then they travelled to the island of Ibiza, where they raised their 4 boys, and this is where you get the stories in Ibiza about the bloodline of Christ that settled there. They are indeed true. The next card is the union of the sun and the moon. And we have the Matir card, which is the mother card. So there is justice being brought to a mother. And the justice is to do with her union. And the Templars, as I said, I told you the story of how they started. But as you can see, well, you can nearly see, he has a unicorn. He has a king, a lion upright, which represents the lion tribe of Judah, the bloodline of Yeshua. And on his cross, there is, on his shield, there is a unicorn. So a unicorn is the sacred symbol and the secret symbol of the bloodline of Christ, Yeshua, and Mary Magdalene. So we have justice being brought to a sacred bloodline, a sacred chalice, both from this lifetime and from previous lifetimes, and soul retrieval is definitely needed, because whatever transpired here, be it present life or be it past lifetime, it fragmented the soul. And in order for restoration to be done and reclamation, we actually have to transmute all negative energy. We have to transmute all darkness. We have to transmute and forgive all transgressions that took place in this lifetime and previous lifetimes. So can we please have, okay, wow. Right, so I'm going to take them, but 2 flew out over there. So we have Hilarion, divine emergence, be seen. Let the world know your gifts. And we have subdet, cosmic power, unlimited potential, and sacred mission initiation. Now, subdet is obviously the original version of the goddess Isis, who was also the Holy Mother. And we have divine director, trust the process, create space for divine order to unfold. Now, these 2 are Lakshmi and Ganesh, prosperity vibration, and paradigm shift, Serapis Bay, activation to grow and make the necessary changes. Now, I'm going to put them back in the deck because they came over here and I didn't get a clear yes for them. So, okay, I need to find my original card here for a second, so I'm going to put that down here, because we are going to talk about the overall energy of all of the cards as I now dive in deep. So we're moving over to the Hermit. So I'm going to just walk through what unfolded here with the original cards that I started with. We had the Five of Wands, competition. We had a Devil energy that was part of this upheaval is the word that they're giving me. Shameful upheaval. Wow. Okay. So there was a devil energy that caused a shameful upheaval, and it was born from competition. We had the walking away, the Eight of Cups. We had the Moon, which represents illusions and things being hidden. And after that, we have justice being served. Now, who is the justice being served for? And that is clarified by the Hermit energy. Again, we have a lot of major arcana on the table. In fact, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 major arcana cards on the table. Now, what does this mean? It basically means that we like to think that we have free will and control, but when these sort of energies are playing out, it's because a higher power has taken control of the situation. And at that point, quite frankly, we become the bystander. We have to surrender it, and we have to watch it all unfold, whether we like it or not, depending on what side of the line we are on. So the Hermit is clarified by the Priestess path. Wow, okay. Priestess path is clarified by the Asteria priestess, the Sands of Time, the distorted masculine, and forgiveness. So the Priestess path. So the Hermit and the Priestess path, are they one and the same? I think they are. Why? Because the Priestess path is not for the faint of heart. With my healing modality, the Golden Oracle Priestess, I work with one type of Priestess path, and it is the Oracle Priestess. So for me, the Oracle Priestess is very different to the other Priestess paths that are out there. I am, I have been an Atlantean, an Egyptian High Priestess in my previous lifetimes. I've been an Avalonian High Priestess, and also a Scarlet Magdalene, meaning a High Priestess of the Brothers and the Sisters of the Rose. One of my titles that I have in this lifetime is a High Priestess of the Sacred Heart Flame. What does that mean? It means that my predominant role is to embody the Sacred Feminine, the Divine Feminine Christ, and to also help other women step onto their priestess path once again. So no one can make you a Sister of the Rose, in my opinion. You either have to have already walked this path in a previous lifetime, and by stepping back onto it, it is the path of remembrance, meaning you are just awakening the gifts that you already possess from previous lifetimes. You have actually walked a path of devotion from lifetime to lifetime to lifetime, and you have built up your gifts through your soul's journey. Now, the Oracle as well, for me, has always been the channel between God and humans. That's the difference with an Oracle and a psychic. Do I have psychic gifts? Yes. Do I call myself a psychic? No, because my role is to work straight with God's source, and to teach the lost teachings of Yeshua and Mary Magdalene. That is my role. That is my embodiment in this lifetime. So I don't work with different types of priestess paths. The priestess path for me is absolutely a path of solitude and hermit. Why? Because you have to access your higher self. You have to connect. You have to ignite the spark of Sophia in your heart. Christ then gives you the oil, the Amitra, to turn that spark into a flame. This is why, we see images of them depicted with the Sacred Heart flame in the Temple of the Heart. This ignition has to happen in private. It is not anything that you can learn from a book, from a teacher, from a guru. It happens in your prayer closet between you and God. So in order to walk the true priestess path, for me, You absolutely have to be a hermit to a certain extent. Now, it's followed by the Asteria priestess. Asteria is all about cosmic love. She is about self-love. She is about that Lady Nada expansion of the heart that activates the higher heart chakra. It is the journey of self-love. Through being the hermit, through opening your heart, your mind, your body, by becoming the sacred vessel and allowing the love of God to flow through you, you cannot help but be changed by that love that moves through you. So in order, I mean, every time you heal someone, you get healed. Every time you teach on love, you receive more love. The change in you is a byproduct of choosing the path. And more often than not, that path will ask you to step away from the world and go into hermit mode in order for you to sit and connect with God. You need to know the voice of God louder than any other voice. And if you're busy and out and connected and doing things and being pulled in 51 different directions, you will miss those signs, those synchronicities. You will miss the voice. And this is why quite often the hand of God will come into your life and bring a change. For me, that was certainly how it happened, that I was sat on my ass for 5 years and in so much pain I couldn't get out of bed. But in those 5 years, I learned, I studied, I grew, I connected, I changed. So the hermit for me is absolutely path of the priestess path. And then you go into the Asteria priestess, which is all about love. It's all about pouring into yourself, loving yourself. And only when your cup is overflowing do you then have that love to give to another person. Now, Sands of Time, again, I've explained it. It talks about things being brought back around to be restored and to be healed from past lifetimes. And it is to do with a distorted masculine energy that wounded you in a past lifetime. And we have the goddess of forgiveness sitting straight on top of that. So it tells me that there is things that have been brought back from a past lifetime. There is karmic contracts to be cleared, to be healed, to be restored. Now, the quickest way to clear your karma is actually to forgive. So I am going to now get a Sands of Time. Yeah, so justice is now being served for whatever played out in a past lifetime. So we have justice next door to justice. Now, I am going to get an Ascended Master card as well about guidance. And speaking of justice, we have Lady Portia on the top of the deck. Overcoming limitation, karmic release, let go of the need to be right. So can you please give me guidance about this narrative moving forward, please? Well, okay. Ma'at, divine intervention. So Ma'at, beautiful Ma'at, weigh up your options and choose the highest good. So we have, again, this beautiful energy, which was where I started and the reason why I'm actually on here doing what will be my first collective reading. Wow. Divine intervention. The courts of heaven have made a decision. The visual of what I was shown about the train, the different locations, people jumping on, and actually the actions that were taken by strangers across the world to actually pay practitioners to do death magic and dark magic on someone that they had never met, that they did not know, because of these silly rumors that were started by people who were in competition. So divine justice and judgment, divine intervention is now coming. And names will be restored because the truth is going to come to light. Everyone is going to be held accountable for every thought, every word, every action, and every deed. And throughout this whole process, you are being applauded because you remained in the heart. You chose forgiveness. You chose peace. You chose peace over war. And you chose love over hatred. And this is why divine judgment, justice and retribution is now being served. Now, the last two cards, we have the High Priestess, and we have the Magician. Now, let's clarify and see what they would like to bring forward in this regard. Now, when these two cards come out together, for me, it's never a good thing. I am indeed, you know, a High Priestess, but I am a High Priestess of the Christ flame, meaning I am absolutely held accountable by the divine and by the ascended masters to not step out of alignment with the law of one and to honor spiritual law. Now, originally, when I became a healer, I was told by some of my teachers that it's okay to do distant healing for people. It's just like prayer, that you don't need their permission. And I learned the hard way that that was not indeed true. So we absolutely need to be, everyone that is operating as a reader, as a healer, as a guide in any way, shape or form, the moral compass is the most important thing that you can have. So there are High Priestesses that are very much in service to the divine and very much on the right side of the line. And then there are ones that are not. And when the High Priestess comes out with the magic, I'm going to say that that's kind of not a positive thing with the two side by side. But I'm going to ask for it to be clarified. Can you please clarify the High Priestess? Yeah, okay. So it is the sacred sisterhood. So this comes back to here and this energy of devil energy. There was a High Priestess paid to do something, and it was a group of people that were involved in it. Now there are 3 hands in this picture, and I'm going to ask for that to be clarified a little more deeply. Wow. Mirrored soul upside down, and it came over here. So this tells me that it was someone who wanted to be a mirrored soul, but actually they weren't. Can you please clarify that? Wow. Okay, so we have Helen of Troy and we have Divine Love. So again, we are telling the same story of what we read over here. Helen of Troy walked away. So the 8 of Cups energy. She walked away. It is about a woman walking away from something. And what did they want her to walk away from? They wanted her to walk away from her divine love. So there was absolutely intervention by a group of people that went to a High Priestess and a magician. Maybe they wanted someone to not see their mirrored soul as their mirrored soul because they wanted it like that. But either way, there was a walking away from a divine love union. And that is what is being restored in this now moment. Can you please clarify the Magician for me? Can you please clarify the Magician for me? Wow. Okay, so, wow. We have Sacred Chalice, Divine Masculine, and Abba Patera, the Magician. Oh, okay. I'm reading this slightly differently now. Right, so could these two be the sacred pair, the High Priestess and the Magician, the High Priest and the High Priestess energy side by side? Because the divine, the Magician, is clarified as Abba Patera, the Divine Masculine, and the Sacred Chalice. So what is the Sacred Chalice? The Sacred Chalice talks about a sacred bloodline. The Sacred Chalice is also how we started with the Sacred Feminine being described as the sacred vessel or the Sacred Chalice. We have a man that is sought in divine masculine energy, and the Abba Patera card. So the word Abba means beloved Papa in Hebrew, and Patera in Greek means father. Now this is actually the throne room of my father in Egypt, who was Akhenaten. So this is connected to an Egyptian timeline, but it is someone who was the father, or the father of the children, or the father of the sacred chalice. Very interesting energy. Now, can you please clarify The Magician energy for me. The connection between the High Priestess and the Magician, please. And we have the Scarlet Priestess on the table. So the Scarlet Priestess, as I said, I am what is considered a Scarlet Magdalene. It means that when Mary Magdalene left after the crucifixion of Yeshua, she created an order that were known as the Magdalens, and inside of this order, they were both male and females. So the word, the Magdalene, was actually a title. There were many Magdalens, and it was a title that was given to you after you had climbed in spiritual rank. So the Scarlet Magdalens were the inner order of the Magdalene community. They were the priestesses, the high priestesses, that they always wore scarlet robes and the serpentine bracelets around their wrists. And this was how people identified them. And their role was the role of teacher. They were wisdom oracles. They were the prophetesses. They were the seers. They were the master healers. They led everyone else and they guided everyone else. They also were responsible for the rites of the goddess, as in they made the chrism oil. They made the oil for anointing and for blessing. The most famous story, of course, is where Magdalene washes Yeshua's feet with her tears and she dries them with her hair. And then she anoints him with the holy oil that was the spikenard. And most people don't understand the relevance, but in that moment, she was actually choosing him as her king and counterpart. And that was them getting ready for the rites of the bridal chamber. So when the Scarlet Priestess energy shows up, they are the Scarlets helping prepare people to enter into the bridal chamber, to enter into sacred union, and to enter into divine love. Wow, okay. So we have a high priest and a high priestess on the table here who are actually divine love counterparts. And the spell work and all of the manipulation and the gossip was actually to tear these unions apart, which is not uncommon because it happens more often than not. We have three cards on the table. We have human devoted warrior, let God's love hold you in strength. And we have beloved Yeshua, Jesus on the card. When you serve the universe. And we have transcending fear. Facing fear leads to fearlessness. Embrace your power. So we have, again, the emphasis on the divine love unions and their role being one of coming together to serve humanity. There is a transcending of fear. There is a transmutation of everything that has gone on here. Hanuman, devoted warrior, let God's love hold you in strength. So throughout the whole thing, you have allowed God's love to hold you in strength. And this is where the song comes in, the strong will never fall. And I have to say the song is one of the most beautiful songs I've ever heard. I actually listened to it and then I did a post on my personal Instagram, I think it was about 3 or 4 days ago, using the song, using that line because the emphasis was on that line. And slowly through dreams and visions when I'm meditating, they actually brought forward what was playing out up there in the courts of heaven. So on that note, I'm actually over an hour. So what I am going to do is I am going to get some simple messages from the Magdalena deck. And then I'm going to get some wisdom pearls of Sophia because Ma'at is on the table. And the wisdom pearls of Sophia is devoted to the 42 laws of ancient Egypt and the goddess Ma'at. So, the good. I am inherently good. Okay, so I am inherently good, the good. It is about holding on to the good. And it is about, you know, holding on to this light and allowing yourself to be the sacred vessel for this light to shine through. Now, I am inherently good. What does that mean? Do you need to be perfect to be the vessel? No. No one here is perfect. If we were, we would have ascended and we would no longer be in this fallen realm. All you need is willingness, not perfection. Be willing to be the vessel. Be willing to be the vessel of light to shine through. I mean, even, you know, I said this to a beautiful friend a couple of days ago, that every time I teach on something or every time I have a conversation with someone, it is, well, predominantly Yeshua that speaks through me, that works through me, the Holy Spirit that works through me, you know, Mother, Father, God that works through me, the Ascended Masters. I think I learn more than the person I'm actually talking to, even though I am in the role of the oracle or the teacher. Every single time that higher wisdom comes through me, comes through my voice, comes through my body, whether it's healing that comes through my hands, I learn more because I'm constantly learning and I'm constantly changing and I'm constantly evolving. And all we need to do is be willing to be taught, to have a teachable spirit, be willing to understand that we are works in progress, that we are like diamonds that are being polished every step of the way. So the good, I am inherently good. Know that you are good. The goodness within you is why judgment and justice has been served. The next one is presence. I exist intensely. Now, the message on the card, again, we have the sacred flame and we also have the sacred heart that has the spear that has been pierced. Now, this was the image that I saw about the wounding when I said that God's heart had been wounded because of what had happened here. Like, and then they corrected me and said it was Yeshua's heart. It was Yeshua's sacred heart that had been wounded in this process. And that's why divine judgment and justice is playing out here, so that everything that was done in the dark, oh, and they've just said to me, trust me, the hate train has reached the end of the tunnel. There's nowhere else to go. There's nowhere to run. There's nowhere to hide. The train has come to a halt. Wow. So they've just shown me a visual at the end of the tunnel, and the tunnel where the train is supposed to continue to go is now blocked up with bricks. So there will be no more forward movement for this gossip train that turned into a hate train. It ends now. Judgment and justice is here. It says, I call myself back from all times and all places, and this is to do with the soul retrieval, the wounding of the heart and sacred heart healing. Wow, that was a very strong energy that's come out there. They want 2 more Magdalene cards. Okay. Right. Angels. I have never been alone. Now this is obviously Yeshua in the resurrection cave. And I believe that this is an image of the 3 Marys, and the 3 Marys were indeed all of his beloved. So I am a wisdom oracle. Wisdom is obviously the name of Sophia, Holy Sophia, and we have Holy Sophia, the Divine Mother, and we also have the daughter Sophia, who is the bride of Christ, and she has been known by the goddess of 10,000 names. But in the biblical narrative, her soul came in and she was a triple goddess, and she was split between 3 people. So she was the mother of Mother Mary, the mother of Yeshua. She was Mary Magdalene, and she was Mary Bophus. The 3 of them were all Sophia. So the three women that were around the foot of his crucifixion were all of his beloved. But there is also another version of the Holy Spirit called Sophia Akaman, and they say that every time there is a mystical experience in this realm, Holy Sophia, Sophia Akaman, is actually present in spirit form, a bit like where she descended upon him in the form of dove when he was baptized by John the Baptist. So here is Yeshua with his beloved all around him, and the angels, I have never been alone. So throughout this whole process of everything that you've been through the conflict and the devil energy and the fact that you had to walk away and everything that has been hidden from you, the angels have been with you every step of the way, and they have seen everything, every act, every deed, every bit of gossip, every bit of darkness, everything that was born from evil intent and from malice. And judgment and justice is yours. Divine intervention has happened. The angels are with you. Oh my God. And then I was just about to say, and your union is going to be restored as well as your name. And the next card is union. Myself and soul are one. Now, divine union begins within. You have to balance your masculine and your feminine energies beautifully within your heart. How does this happen? It happens through the alchemy of the sacred flames. It happens through the gift of Sophia, where Sophia Akaman, the Holy Spirit, she knocks on the door of your heart. And if you open to her, she comes in and she ignites the spark in your heart that she placed within you at the conception of your soul. She placed that spark within you. It was her gift to humanity. And if you choose to open to her and she enters, she ignites the spark. Now, this is called the opening of the way in the ancient mystery schools. This is where gnosis, so the word gnosis is higher knowledge. It's knowledge that you cannot learn in a book, in a course, with a teacher, with a guru. It comes from direct revelation and connection to God through the presence of your holy I am, or your higher self, or your Christ itself. This is where your heart becomes the portal for divine love to flow through. So it is through this opening of the way that you step into union with the divine, you step into union with your higher self. And if you are part of a true sacred union, up there in upper world, the higher self is both your feminine and your masculine as one. You are one in upper world. Down here, you might be functioning in two different bodies. But when you open that portal through the opening of the way and you connect to your higher self, you are in union, because up there you are in union. There is no separation. Myself and my beloved are one, right? But it begins with union with God. So you have to alchemize whatever distortion is in your own masculine and feminine energy. You have to merge the two in the Sacred Heart healing. You have to become one with the divine. You have to be reborn into your Christ itself, into your holy I am, in order for union to be present first within yourself before you can step into it with someone else. I was shown that only when this process actually happens, then your Sacred Heart, once the flame has been lit, so Sophia ignites the spark. Her beloved Christ comes after and he gifts you the Christ oil. And the oil is what keeps the Sacred Heart flame burning. And this is in the inner temple, the inner bridal sanctuary of the heart. Magdalene calls it the inner bridal temple. So this is where the flame is lit. And the Christ oil is what keeps the flame burning. And this for me is, well, it's everything. Only when this fire is lit, you become an initiate of the sacred flames. But then it sends out a beacon, and the beacon goes out from the heart like this, and it goes out to your counterpart to say, she's done the healing work, she's balanced everything, she's cleared everything, she's evolved, she's grown, she's chosen her higher self, she's chosen God, she's ready for union. Union cannot happen without this inner process of healing and alchemy. This comes first, union comes second. So, on that note, I am going to jump into my latest deck. that is called the Wisdom Pearls of Sophia. It is based on the 42 laws of the goddess Ma'at from ancient Egypt, and they are very simple principles that is meant to be used like a daily devotion. There will be a book coming soon. There will be a course again coming soon. I have been a little bit busy, but they are going to help you every day focus on little wisdom pearls of what needs to be brought to your attention, of what you need to do, and how you need to integrate this wisdom, this spiritual law, and this wisdom into your life moving forward. So the first wisdom pearl is secrets. So secrets, there are going to be secrets brought to the surface. So what has been hidden, what has been done in the dark is being illuminated, and the truth is going to be revealed. And when this truth is brought to you, they are asking you to have compassion. The next one is accepting. So as you accept the truth of the situation, they're asking you to have compassion. This is going to bring you into heightened awareness, reminding you that you are an earth keeper. Wow, that one fell on the floor. Okay, so we have altar. Now, they want one more, and then I'm going to finish. And the last card from the deck is advancement. So when the secrets are brought to your intention, they are asking you to have compassion whilst accepting the truth. This acceptance is going to lead to heightened awareness. You are reminded that you are here as an earth keeper. So what does that mean? You have a mission attached to your union. The mission will always come first. The healing work, the land work, holding the frequency of God's love on the planet is needed now more than ever. If you have mission work to do that needs to happen before you step into union, trust that this will happen after you hold the line with your work. The next one is advancements. There is advancements to be made in your mission work and in your healing work. And you have to trust the process. And the last one is altar. They are encouraging you to create a sacred space and sit at your altar to receive the guidance that you need moving forward. So on that note, it's 1:22 on the clock. I am going to finish. Wow, my first collective reading officially done. Divine Mother and Father God, Alpha and Omega, through the alchemy of the threefold flame and the Holy Spirit, I thank you for the beautiful healing, the light codes, the ascension codes, the wisdom and the clarity that has come through me in this now moment. I ask that you will speak to each person watching this, that they will know what is theirs, what is not theirs, that you will give them the discernment, the peace, the clarity, the healing that they have needed in this now moment. I now close down all access points and portals. I disconnect myself from the golden healing energy. I disconnect myself from this reading. I take back what is mine. I give you thanks and praise to the Ascended Masters, to my guards, my guardians, my guides. I do, in fact, have golden guards. So thank you to my golden guards, to my protectors, to the Ascended Masters, to the lineage, and to my beautiful family of light. I thank you to Saint Germain, Archangel Michael, and Yeshua for being my primary guides. I thank you to Christ, Sophia, to Yeshua, Mary Magdalene, Mother, Father, God. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Holy Spirit, thank you, and thank you again. Okay, so from me, from Karen Marie, from the Golden Oracle Priestess, the Wisdom Oracle, I thank you very much, and I am sending you much love. Goodbye for now.